So you might have read this video title and thought, ooh, Brit's got a new watch. And if you've been following my channel, you know this is a watch that I really, really, really want. But this is not my watch. This is a watch my husband bought himself. It's a dagger in the heart. Let's talk about the most un-Rolex Rolex. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany, and on this channel we just talk about watches in a hopefully not pretentious and joyful way. Today, we have in the newest addition to our household, the 41mm Rolex Oyster Perpetual Celebration dial, a watch that I think is the most un-Rolex Rolex model. So when this watch was first unveiled at Watches and Wonders 2023, this was my exact reaction. This was actually the exact face I made. It was a split reaction between shocked and WTF. This was just the most unexpected model they could have released for me. In fact, this whole year has been unexpected releases from Rolex. So there was the enamel Jigsaw Day and the display case back Platinum Daytona, and of course, this one. And as it is with all new things, my first instinct was to hate it. It just felt so out of left field that I couldn't wrap my brain around this. The colorful Oyster Perpetual dials of 2020 were unexpected, but kinda made a bit of sense looking back in the Rolex archives and the lacquer Stella dials. But this had no reference point for me. Once I got used to it and started to understand it a bit more, I fell in love with it. It's like a rom-com movie where the two protagonists rub each other wrong at the beginning, but eventually fall in sweet, sweet love. That's me and this watch. It's Rolex having fun again and celebrating the massive success that is the colorful dial Oyster Perpetuals. Specification-wise, this is really just a bog-standard Oyster Perpetual 41. My calipers measure this as a 39.7mm case size, a thickness of 11.7mm, and a lug-to-lug of 47.5mm. This watch has 100 meters of water resistance, screw-down crown, and a stainless steel case material. Inside is the COSC-certified Rolex manufacturer caliber 3230, giving you 70 hours of power reserve. This is the same movement that's in the Explorer, the Air King, and the Submariner. Keyboard warriors, I'm saying Submariner quite literally. I'm not talking about the sub-date. So a very robust movement, great go anywhere, do anything specifications. But the thing that sets this model apart is of course the dial. So the reason this is named the Celebration and is decorated the way that it is because it is celebrating the lacquer dials introduced in 2020. Set against the Tiffany blue, or turquoise blue I should say to be more proper. The different sized bubbles are the same colors as the newest wave of Oyster Perpetual dial colors: candy pink, yellow, coral red, turquoise, and green. I've not been able to find anything that says this online, but I heard through an authorized dealer who received Rolex training that this is a relatively complex dial to make. So each color has to be painted individually, and the layers are built up of each color. So it's a bit more technical to produce, and it still costs the same as every other Oyster Perpetual. I feel like now that these are a bit more established and a few years have passed, it's easy to forget how huge the colorful dial Oyster Perpetuals were for Rolex back in 2020. So I own the black 34mm OP that I bought in 2020, and I'd been looking to buy an Oyster Perpetual for a few years by this point, but money wasn't quite right. It's a very expensive purchase. And I remember for years, the Oyster Perpetual was incredibly available, undesirable, and 80s were begging to get rid of these. Don't get me wrong, the sunburst grape and the green, they're awesome. I love these, but they were very, very available. Then in 2020, when Rolex launched the new flat lacquer dials, people got excited for a watch they weren't excited about before. The OP became hard to get, and it just injected this new life and excitement in a line that previously sat unloved in authorized dealer display cases. To me, that is absolutely something worth celebrating. Is this watch overrated? I mean, it's a Rolex, so yes, to a degree. Of course, there's a slight tinge of overrated, but I kind of think it is perfectly rated. It's a divisive, weird watch that isn't going to be for everyone. If you don't like it, don't get it. If it's not worth it to you, no one is making you buy one, and no one made you click on this video.
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get it.
But I see why people love it. I'm someone who loves this watch. I've got my name down for one, and I'm desperately hoping to get the call on the 36mm variation. I controversially think the Oyster Perpetual line is finally receiving the love and praise that it always deserved. I feel like it's been massively underrated for a long time. For how much it does, the movement that's inside of it, I truly believe it's the best go anywhere, do anything watch that money can buy. Well, maybe the Celebration's a little bit more out there. It's not as go anywhere, do anything. But with a more standard OP, yeah, I would say this is a Rolex collector kind of watch. It's for someone like me who's fully drank the Rolex Kool-Aid and loves collecting Rolex, or for someone who's looking for something that's a bit fun and colorful and out there. But it's definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea, as I'm sure my comment section will reflect. As I'm sure you've already gathered by this point of the video, I'm a big fan of this. I understand why someone wouldn't love this one, and I'm not going to try to convince you to like it. I get it. It's divisive, but I personally really like this watch. I currently have my name down for the 36mm. Sweet Jesus, I'm hoping to get this call. I've got the money saved. I'm ready to go. I just need the call from the sweet authorized dealer. If you are interested in one of these, they retail for £5,400 for the 41mm, £5,100 for the 36mm, my personal favorite, and it's £4,750 for the 31mm. If you have a smaller wrist, the 31mm is the easiest one to get and the most accessible, and the 41mm is the most difficult to get. So just something to keep in mind if you're a fellow bozo sat on a waiting list like me. I won't lie, these aren't easy to get. My husband has been shopping with goldsmiths since 1998, so he has an unfair advantage over us mere mortals. But honestly, when it comes to getting watches from the AD, pop in, talk watches with them, you never know. I think it never really hurts to remind them that you're into watches for the right reasons, you're not a flipper, you just love this watch or whatever watch it is. But I know it is demoralizing sometimes, shopping at the authorized dealers. We're really lucky. We shop with the Bristol Cabot Circus goldsmiths. They're incredibly stand up. But we recently went shopping in a different city, popped into an AD, and had a pretty yucky experience. This guy just seemed to love saying no and making you feel like this big and making sure you know, oh, you'll never get that. You'll never, we've got, these kind of people coming in. And it wasn't the one. It wasn't the look. Yikes. It was a horrible experience, so I really do get it. And I feel just bad for people who don't have an authorized dealer that's nearby. That's stand up. If you're near to Bristol in any way, we can't recommend Bristol Cabot Circus anymore. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like... Anyways, this isn't an authorized dealer rant. This is a celebration video. What do you guys think to this watch? I'm sure I'll hear all about it in those comments down below. Do all that YouTube algorithm stuff. Subscribe if you're not already. Peace. Has anyone told you you're the best today? Well, I'm only telling you that if you're a patron. I don't think this is my best outro, but I want to say the biggest thank you ever to our gorgeous, fabulous, amazing Pope tier patrons. Thank you all tier patrons. You keep the lights on here at Gringa HQ and allow me to do more experimental different videos. But at the end of the video, we'd like to thank these amazing names on the screen. Thank you so much. You're gorgeous. You're fabulous. You're wonderful. Thanks, guys.